Yeah, so I think the way it differs is the skills that I learned while in academia, they're more rooted in theory. And I chose engineering because I knew it would be more applied. But I think it's hard to actually learn things if you're not doing them. Or there's a difference in the skills that you learn by learning about them and reading and doing PSETs versus doing them and applying them in a real world setting. And so I think the skills that I learned in school were really helpful because I understood the theory behind them and what they could achieve. And they gave me frameworks and structures for how to use them. But what I learned on the job is like no amount of like education can have help you solve a problem immediately. Like there's so much to learn and so much nuance, whether you're working with a stakeholder you never thought about before, if you're working in a geography that you're unfamiliar with, or if there's an emerging technology as there is in a lot of the energy sphere that you need to learn more about. I think nothing can really prepare you for that, but what can help is having those fundamental skills and structures and frameworks that you did learn in school to know how to research and how to understand it. And I think that's huge. That it's like very, very huge.
I'll start with school. So I think school is very structured. And again, I'm going to go back to it teaches you the fundamentals and the basics. So it prepares you with the foundational knowledge that you need in a field. So I think in school, learning is very structured. It's oftentimes not your choice whether you want to learn something or not. So usually it's curriculum based. You read a book, you learn, you follow a really, really strict structure. I think the biggest difference of learning in the work field is you don't really have that structure. You'll have a little bit of structure when it comes to on the job learning and learning when it comes to being able to perform your specific role. But beyond that, if it comes to learning about the industry or figuring out where you want to be a subject matter expert. So, for example, in crypto, it is a very extensive field. And not everything I'm going to learn about on a day to day basis will feed directly into my role. So I think you will need a little bit more autonomy to learn in the workforce. And I think not all of it will be like fed to you in a curriculum or with directions. So I think a lot of it will be crafting your own learning journey and empowering yourself and figuring out where you want to grow and continue learning.